so please make some noise for Big Bear! Give it up for Christian one time. All right, I got to move this. Hippies are a little clumsy. All right, he called me Big Bear, but I just lost 30 pounds of weed in the mail. I'm pissed. But I look young, and I came from a different time. I had a beeper in my day, and it wasn't even to sell weed yet. It was so my mom could tell me to come home. I knew they were tracking devices. But like I said, I come from a different time. I saw Blockbuster get put out of business by Netflix. I saw one of my favorite, Toys R Us, get put out of business by Amazon. I saw heroin get put out of business by fentanyl. I come from a time where you could find a mystery bag of powders on the barroom floor and go home and have a good night. Nowadays, you have to know chemistry to take that cocaine home. I didn't come from free love like the hippies, but I at least came from mystery bag of powders is okay. But Denver, a hippie feels safe because you guys legalized pot. Yeah. Kind of put me out of a job. Nobody tells you what happened to the weed man, the one that made it out. He delivers pizza now. DoorDash. And these people with the snowboard racks this season on the car looking like police, they're slowing down your food. I'm sorry. But Denver legalized pot, and then they went and installed all these traffic circles the same year. You guys just have stoners just doing laps, lost. I've tried to come down here 4 or 5 times. I feel like Golden, you guys installed yours as defense. You know, I tried to come down here 4 or 5 times and ended up in Lakewood. This is bullshit. But I don't have a real job, and you guys think it's easy being a hippie because I don't have a real job? But how many times have you used your job to get out of doing things you didn't want to do? These people know I don't have to work in the morning. I had to move a fish tank on Tuesday. I'm going to Limon this weekend to pick up a pit bull. I thought it would be nice if my friend got over his breakup with his girlfriend by getting off of my couch, but instead we're getting a dog this weekend. Sometimes it would be easier to have a real job, be a real boy. But since you guys legalized pot, I'm not too worried about, the government looking in on our lives. But if the NSA is going to be watching us, I feel like they should be giving us some stats, like Spotify Wrapped. Am I actually the worst driver in Denver, or is that just what my ex-girlfriends say? They have this information. I feel like I'm in the top 1% of texting I'm on the way while still laying in bed. My numbers are high. Is there any parents in the crowd tonight? Yeah. Yes. Hippies, we don't have a lot of kids. We're pretty childish. You guys keep track of how good your kids are doing with the height on the wall? We keep track of the length of our hair. As the last time we saw a judge. I'm doing pretty good. I'm sure some judges in Michigan would love to cut my locks. But, I've got a little bit of gray in my beard and I'm still doing comedy. So my friends have said that I'm going through a midlife. But my generation doesn't know how to do a midlife crisis, I found. My dad, he bought a Corvette, spins in circles. My generation doesn't have Corvette money. So a midlife crisis for my generation looks like 35-year-olds should be trading recipes with their moms at school, but instead she's getting her head shaved this weekend. Britney Spears, that's a midlife crisis for my generation that I'm seeing. And I'm not picking on the girls. The single guys, G.I. Joe, he's shaving his head too. I guess he should have joined the military 25 years ago with his dad, but instead he's been working at a factory. His knees are gone, but you'll find him this weekend at Bass Pro Shop looking for night vision goggles to hunt a deer. If you need night vision goggles to hunt a deer, you're not the warrior we need, Tanner. But my buddy, his parents are actually hippies. And growing up is confusing enough, but how do you go through that rebellious phase when you've got hippie parents? Get a job, go to school, get a degree, hopefully not vote Republican. It's kind of hard to run away from your dad's teepee, and he chases you down on horseback and says, "It's cool, bro, we can talk about it." But hippies did some good things for society. They invented the word grounded. Take away the TV, take away the tablet, get grounded. Before that, we just beat our kids. I think I'm still grounded. My buddy, my parents are not hippies. My buddy, he's got hippie parents. A spooning in his family means laying with your lover. A spooning in my family means getting hit with a wooden spoon when you try and taste the gravy too soon. My buddy, he's got hippie parents. He got to choose his own punishment. I was like, what does that even mean? They come up to me after a show. I was like, yeah, we got to choose our own punishment. They were like, yeah, we got caught toilet papering and we couldn't see our best friend for a week. I got to choose the stick my grandma would whoop me with off of the tree. You know, differences. And I took my Burning Man friends out to the desert to Burning Man, and I'm going by Bear Love, which is not my birth name. And their birth names from their hippie parents are Blu-ray and Solmar. And so they go, what's our Burning Man name? What's our hippie name? And they realized they already came with hippie names. So the whole Burning Man, they went by Bob and Sam. You go by Bob, I'll go by Sam. It was perfect. They were ridiculous. But like I said, you guys put me out of work when you guys legalized pot. I used to grow pot high up in the Colorado Rockies, double meaning. And the worst thing that can happen to you when you're growing pot is the police to show up. A close second we found out is you can run out of Kool-Aid. Hippies love Kool-Aid, and Chiba Hut, they put it on tap for us like it's a real drink. So the worst thing happened to us, and my girlfriend shops at Costco, so I look up in the cabinet, we've got all kinds of sugar, and I look up there, there's no Kool-Aid. And have you guys ever been so stoned you thought you invented something that you didn't really? That happened to me in Conifer. So basically I look up in the cabinet, we got all this sugar, so I've got sugar and water, and all these hippies had brought tea. And so I was like, oh, I can flavor the sugar water with the tea. And so for 3 days, nobody called me out at my house. You want another batch of sugar water tea, honey? My friends didn't call me out. They probably thought there was weed in it, knowing me. But it was just celestial season, sleepy time. But your family will keep you in check. My cousin came out of Texas, and he goes, Bear, this is really good. And I was telling him I want to open up a stand at Red Rocks, you know, and sell the different flavors of sugar water tea. It's better than the artificial flavors of Kool-Aid anyways. And he goes, he's from Texas, he goes, Bear, this is really good. But you did not invent sweet tea. For 3 days, I thought I did. Who believes work smarter, not harder? Right? If you can. So I was doing mortgage, living on the beach in San Diego, and I see all these hippies just living on the beach. Literally, living on the beach. And I'm like, why am I working 70 hours a week? So these hippies are like, yeah, we're hitchhiking. And they were like, you can come with us. And I believe in work smarter, not harder, but who thinks they're smarter than a hippie? Raise your hand. Yeah, right. Most of us. All right. So I'm smarter than a hippie. So I come from construction background. So when I got on the road hitchhiking, you know, a hippie, they don't, you know, reserve an Airbnb, book a flight, and then do a trip. They say, I'm going west. And that's their trip. You know. So when I started hitchhiking with my hippie friend, I brought a little sign from construction. One side said stop, the other side said slow down. It was a very effective way to travel. So I picked up my cousin in Houston. We're going to Pensacola because we heard that it's crazy and you can just kind of live on the beach there. So we're going down there. I pick up my cousin in Houston and he's like, what are you doing, hippie? Because he's not a hippie. And he goes, I don't dance. And I was like, there's dance parties on the beach all the time. And it was funny because the first stop we get to, my cousin sets down his pack, and I'm trying to hitchhike to get a ride, and I just see him start dancing. I'm like, hey, that's the spirit, you know what I mean? And I found out that there's fire ants in Texas. He still can't dance. But either way, so we're hitchhiking with our sign, and it's a very effective way to travel. So I've gotten 3 or 4 counties away, and the police decide to relieve us of our sign. You know, it was very effective. And he actually didn't even jail us. You know, he probably saw how we smelled, and it was catch and release. And I always judge when I get kicked out of a car. If I get picked up right away, I was right in that last interaction. So if I have to walk 8 miles, I was probably the wrong asshole. So I got picked up within 5 seconds of getting out of that police car, and it's this guy with long hair, and he goes, you guys are going to Pensacola? I'm going all the way to Pensacola. And he's like, we're stopping in New Orleans on the way. And he goes, I've got to meet some other Vipers. And I was like, oh gosh, is this some gang? And I found out that the beatniks who smoked weed that played jazz music in New Orleans, they called themselves Vipers if they smoked weed. And he goes, hey, Bear, you probably smoke weed. Reach into my glove box. So I know what's going on. I'm about to pack some weed. But he's got Miles Davis's trumpet mouthpiece in there. And he says, I want you to pack weed in the end of it like a one-hitter. Jazz was never so alive that night. So we're smoking weed out of Miles Davis's trumpet piece, and that got my cousin's attention because he loves jazz music. So we ended up getting dropped off in Pensacola Beach, which is white sandy beach. There's movies about it. It's really perfect. But the only trick is you can chill on the beach all day long. But at 11 o'clock, the security and the cops all kick you off the beach, right? The hippies are not that smart. Otherwise, they would have the overnight express. So basically, we get kicked off there, but these hippies that are, and it's like a beautiful bohemian paradise. Like there's people with drums, we're drumming all day. There's this bar called The Dock where for a $5 bill, they have this deal where you can drink with Lincoln. Drinking with Lincoln? So $5 you can drink jungle juice all day in this bar, which is horrible for the beach community. Because all of us hippies are just going and drinking $5 worth of jungle juice all day and then waiting until the cops kick us off the beach. So, but I found out, a life hack. I'm not into internet or lights. You saw the lights were out earlier. So I'm not much of a hacker, but who's into a good life hack? Okay, well, I found out that there's the cheaper hotels in Pensacola, and we get kicked off at 11 o'clock at night, so the cops were like, all the hippies knew that about 15-minute hike, you could sleep on the cheap hotels, swimming pool lawn chairs. It's Florida, so we're chilling by the pool. And you've never felt so alive until you're getting chased in flip-flops and a tie-dye at 2 in the morning by hotel security. Tie-dye looks like camouflage, but the only thing it hides you from is employment. So I was tired of making that 15-minute hike after drinking with Lincoln. So I'm smarter than these hippies. There's one other thing on the beach, and it's a miniature golf. Like a putt-putt. And you know how there's usually hole 18? There's like a King Kong or the windmill. Well, I'm Bear, and hole 18, there was a cave. Bears love caves. So we tell the hippies, yeah, catch up. We'll catch right up. We're coming to the cheap hotels. And we went and slept right there in the cave. I don't like waking up to balls in my face, but sometimes the miniature golf balls would be coming down. So me and my cousin would end up back on the beach. And one more life hack. The expensive hotels, they have continental breakfast once you're awake. So we're eating crab omelets in the morning. And I've stayed at a lot of embassy suites with my grandma when we used to travel. So I kind of could fake the funk. So I went in there acting like I was somebody staying in the hotel. And they'd always come up to us. Sir, are you staying in this hotel? Oh, yeah, room 212, something believable within the ranges. And they'd go, they'd have to go make sure we're not some people's kids. And they'd go, get the fuck out of here. But we'd already be on the beach just drinking with Lincoln again. So you never know. So I am Bear, but I got a little bit of Goldilocks in me, and it was just right that night. All right, I got a couple more minutes before we bring on Spaghetti Jake. Are you guys excited? Yes. Well, thank you guys for bearing with us. Bear is with you. Thank you guys for, we normally have power before you get here. So thank you guys for who came in and we were dealing with that. But I want to tell you I'm a little bit of a psychedelic person. And I want to tell you, I was at Burning Man, and my friend who's got the hippie parents, we were at Burning Man. And I'm a psychedelic person, so I'm eating some paper LSD, and I'm sharing it with my friend. And this old wizard guy goes, you guys know the rules of acid out here at Burning Man, right? I thought he was joking. I go, there's no rules. It's illegal. That's a rule? And he goes, yeah, water's wet, fire's hot, and you can't fly. And if you're at Burning Man, don't forget your goggles. And I'm messing with witchcraft because this is my first burn. I didn't bring goggles. You know what I mean? They actually have snowboard goggles out there because these people are burning stuff. It's like an art festival and they're burning it. And then the cold desert somehow makes these like desert tornadoes. So I ended up splitting up with my friend. We both ate acid and we both forgot our goggles. And I ended up meeting the girl of my dreams. And the friend she brought from home. For the rest of the story, we'll call him Cockblocker. So, Burning Man is like Disney World for people on LSD, right? So we're going camp to camp, we're like doing crafts, we're making glow sticks, we're making peyote, going to all the random camps. And basically, Burning Man's a costume camp. So I'm dressed up as Wolverine. My love, she's dressed up as a unicorn. It's adorable. My cock blaster is dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite. Vote for Pedro. It's ridiculous. And he's not even having fun. Like, he's grimming me the whole time we're blowing bubbles. He's mad the whole time. And he's just not getting the point that he's the third wheel. And so luckily, that wizard was true. There was a dust storm, like straight up tornado. And there's a bunch of structures out there. So me and her, we kind of were like, we're about to ditch Napoleon and run to that teepee. So we run to the closest structure, which was this giant teepee. And when we get there, they're literally boarding it shut because this windstorm is so crazy. It's like a 50-person teepee. And this guy gets there and he goes, "Welcome to Munchkin Land." I didn't even see a munchkin. But it was a massage camp at Burning Man, and Napoleon just made it in before the door shut. You're like, dude, get a clue. And Munchkin Land at Burning Man is a massage camp. It's about a teepee as wide as this whole room with 50 or 60 people on mats that they were all massaging each other. And a massage camp at Burning Man is only not an orgy for 34 minutes. I was in there for 35. So, with my cock blocker. Hippies have a lot of group sex, but it's not usually because we want to. Sometimes it's because of a cock blocker. And we rolled with it. So here we are. I sit down on a mat with my love, and Napoleon. I start rubbing her shoulders, and he comes up and starts rubbing her feet. We're like, there's a lot of other people. There's single people in the room. Like, get a clue. You're the third wheel. And so she's loving it. He's rubbing her feet, I'm rubbing her shoulders. She goes, "You guys gonna feed me grapes?" And so I'm rubbing her shoulders. He starts rubbing like inner thigh, the most competitive massage I've ever been a part of. So I go side boob, and we didn't realize because we're looking eye to eye, me and Napoleon. And every other mat was kind of watching us to see if we're gonna take it there. And we took it there. And so, in the orgy at Burning Man, I'm Wolverine, I've got a unicorn, and Napoleon over there being creepy. We got a Loch Ness Monster and Scooby-Doo going too hard in the corner. And all the cast of Avengers was there. It was really crazy. Angels, demons, all types of costumes. It was rowdy. And group sex stops as fast as it happens. We're all kind of embarrassed. Okay, I'll see you at your tent. I'm telling my love and cockblocker, I'll see you, we'll meet up. And the guy who, the Munchkin Man guy, he comes up to me right as we're trying to leave, and he goes, "I just want you to know, you are now the mayor of Munchkin Land." And he gave me this big hat that looked like a troll doll. I got to wear it for like 3 days, and then he came up and asked for it back a few days later. So I'm the mayor of Munchkin Land. And which is so funny because it took a couple days. It's a 70,000 person party. So I didn't see my love for a few days. And when I ran into them, she actually came up to me and she said, "Bear, guess what?" And I said, "We're going back to Munchkin Land?" She goes, "No, he proposed to me." And I had a moment of clarity. I was the cock blocker. That was his wife to be. But my poor friend, he was missing with no goggles, and I started an orgy. I'm the mayor of Munchkin Land. But my friend, he forgot his goggles, and that is witchcraft, and so it's Russian roulette out there. So he ends up, Burning Man is in a C. And so there's A, which is actually Esplanade, it's the party, and then there's B, C, D, E, and as further you get away from A, you're on the edge. He was way out on L. And he said he found a camp, he's on the same LSD as me. And he found a camp that was written in Christmas lights. And it said, "Anal Blah Camp." He gets a little closer and he realizes it's Anal Bead Camp. There's a lot of joke camps, so he thinks it's a joke. So he walks up in there. Definitely not a joke. There's a girl on a table with the business end up. And he says, he's on acid, which is not a super sexual drug. This ain't cocaine. So he's like, "Do I run? or do I stay? He's hilarious, too. I wish he was here to tell the story. But he ends up, he stayed. And he's waiting for her to prank him, the whole time. But as he gets closer, she pulled like a move. And now they're looking eye to eye. Brown eye. So he gets closer. There's a table next to her that's got a bunch of anal beads, all shapes and sizes. KY jelly and some gloves. And he's literally still thinking about running. He goes, so I get up in there. And he goes, I don't want to be rude, so I don't get the big ones. He goes, I don't want to get the small ones. Supposedly she's into this. So he grabs the Goldilocks of anal beads. Just right. And he goes over there and, and he's still waiting for her to be like, it's just a joke. But no. So he doesn't want to be rude, so he goes over there and he puts one in. And she doesn't make a peep. Does she like this? So he puts the other ones in. And she has not made a noise. And so he's like, it's probably the speed. So like he's going to start a lawnmower. He forgot his goggles and the shit hit the fan. Bring your goggles. Don't forget the rules of Burning Man. Water's wet, fire's hot, and you cannot fly. But shit can fly. All right, and I won't leave you with that one. I will not leave with that one. So I did a little research because a lot of comedy shows are filled with guys, and I wanted to write some jokes for the girls. So I did a little research for the next 2 jokes. But I found out girls are into some fucked up shit. Like murder mysteries? That's top. That's up there. So, Jeffrey Dahmer. If you are what you eat, maybe he was just trying to be a better person. Yeah, that was horrible. All right, one more Jeffrey Dahmer for the girls. If Jeffrey Dahmer was alive today, how many times would he get ripped off online trying to buy a fleshlight? He's just trying to decorate. He needs lights. All right, let's bring out